Okay, so in order to solve problem four is just this big angle puzzle. Important things to know, these angles are not to scale. So if you were just measuring these with your protractor, you got these wrong because you can't measure these with your protractor. This says 133, but if you actually measured it with your protractor, you would not get 133 degrees here. Another thing that's important to know is all lines are straight and that A, B, and C are all parallel. Also, no other lines are parallel. So D is not parallel. And none of these other vertical or these lines that are going up and down diagonally are parallel. None of them are. So those are all really important things to know. So let's see. When I'm starting this one out, how are we going to start this? The first thing that's really important to know is that all of the lines are straight. So when I'm thinking about all of the lines are straight, that means that this line right here, this line is going to make a straight angle. And so is this line. And all lines where they intersect are going to make straight angles. Now that's a handy bit of information because a straight angle means that when you have a straight angle, it is a 180 degree angle. So this is 180 degrees. And this is also 180 degrees. And the reason that that's important is because I can use that to find missing information. So I know that this is 180 degrees, and then 133 of that is here. So A has to be the remaining bit. So 180 minus 133 is going to give me the value of A here. So 180 minus 133 is 47. So A has to be 47 degrees. And then now I know that 133 and 47 go together to make 180. That means that when I do this math, 47 and something have to go together to make 180. I know that this is 180 minus 47, which gives me 133. So these two are going to match. And when I'm thinking about what number goes together, I know that these ones also have to be 180 degrees. These two angles here, angles B and C combined to make 180. So if angle B is 133, well, we've already done this math twice. 133 and 47 go together to make 180. So that means that C also has to be 47. And here we see an example of what are called vertical angles. That means that the angles that are kitty corner from each other are going to be the same. So I can use that information for a whole bunch of these circles. So for this first one, I know A is 47, B is 133, and C is 47. Now I can also use that same information at this intersection right here. I can use it down here at OPQ. I can use it to figure out RST, and that might be it. That might be the only places, but I can use that really quick. I know that these have to be vertical, so this is 80. That E has to be 80 degrees, and I know that because these two angles total 180 degrees, that the number that goes with 80 to make 180 is 100. So D has to be 100, and F is a vertical angle with D, so it also has to be 100. So D is 100, E is 80, and F is 100 there. Same thing for these two down here. If I do OPQ, I know that P is 127 because P is vertical with 127. And then what's left? What do I have to add to 127 to get 180? I know that this is a straight line, so that has to be 180. So 127 plus 53 makes 180. So I know that O has to equal 53 degrees, and that's vertical with Q. So Q also has to be 53 degrees. And then I also know that's the same. I can use that same information here. S has to be 72 degrees. And then R has to be 108 because 108 plus 72 makes 180 degrees. 108 plus 72. We call those complementary angles, so I know that these angles are complementary. And then I know that 72 plus 108 has to be the same here. So T also has to be 108. So when I write these in, I need to be careful that I write them in the correct spot. But I know that angle O is 53. Angle P is 127. Angle Q is 53. Angle R is 108. Angle S is 72. And angle T is 108. And that's sort of all the places where you can do that. So these next two are a little bit more difficult. We need to figure out, let's see, we need to figure out G, H, and I, and we need to figure out K, L, and N. We're going to be able to do those ones next, I think. But in order to figure out G, H, and I, we don't have any information for this one. But what we can remember is that not only did we study the angle relationships at intersections, we also studied the angle relationships in this unit of different shapes. And here is a shape that I see that is called a triangle. I'm sure you're familiar with that. But a triangle, one of the things that we learned this unit was that triangles have a total number of angles in a triangle is always the total number of degrees in the in all of the angles in a triangle is always the total degrees in a triangle equals 180. So in order to figure this one out, I have to do 180 minus 80, which is 100, minus 47. So 180 minus 80 minus 47 means that what's left over is 100 minus 47 is 53. So G has to be 53 degrees because that's the only number that will make all of these angles total 180. And now that I know that, I can use that information to come up with my vertical angles. So I know that 53, J is vertical with G. And then I also know that the other number that goes with 53, I know that it's 80 plus 47 because these are the other two numbers that total 180 together. So 80 plus 40 is 120. 80 plus 47 is 127. So if I wanted to figure this out, 180 minus 53 is 127. And that's vertical with I, so H and I both have to be 127. So there we figured out GHI. We know G is 53, H is 127, I is 127, and J is 53. And then to figure out KL, M, and N, you need to use similar logic, but this is not a triangle. This shape is a quadrilateral, right? It's a four-sided shape. And because it's a quadrilateral, that means that all of the angles in a quadrilateral have to make 360 degrees. So I guess I don't know why I'm spending so much time filling this in. You understand that it's a quadrilateral, I hope. But this is a four-sided shape, and all of the angles need to be 360 degrees. So I know that all of the angles in here are 360 degrees, but I have one angle that is 100, one angle that's 127, and one angle that is 53. So 360 minus 100 is 260, minus 127 is 133, minus 53 is 80 degrees. So these three total 280 degrees, which means that the remaining amount is 80. So angle L has to be 80. Angle M is vertical with that, so we know M has to be 80. And then these other ones here are supplementary with 80. So 80 plus 100 makes 180. And then K is vertical with N, so I know K and N are both 180. So K is 100, L is 80, M is 80, and N is 100. Okay, looking good. We're almost done. We have U, V, W, X, Y, and then we have highly proficient stuff. So if I want to figure out these ones down here at this intersection, to figure out, so I have 47, and I actually can figure out, I actually know that these two are verticals, so this one has to be 47. But the question is, what are U and V? How do I figure those out? Well, they don't look like they're exactly the same. So I don't, maybe they are, but I can't assume that. But what I can see is I can use my triangle knowledge again, and I can see that the V is an angle that's in a triangle. And I do have most of the information for that triangle. So if I know that all of the angles in a triangle total 180 degrees, and Q is 53, I'm going to subtract 53, and 72 is already there as well. So 50 and 70 is 120, 3 and 5 is 5, so this is 125, so my remaining angle has to be 55, so I know V is 55. I also know that X is going to be vertical with that, so X should be 55. And then to figure out U, I have enough information now because I know that this is a straight line, this line right here, and U, and 55 and 147 plus U, 55 plus 47 plus U all together have to equal 180 degrees. So if I take away the 55 and the 47, I know 50 plus 40 is 90, and then 5 plus 7 is 12, so this would be 102. And if I take that away from 108, so minus 102 minus 102, I will just have U left on the right side. And on the left side, I will have 78, which means U has to equal 78 degrees, and Y is going to equal 78 degrees as well. Because they're vertical and because that is the only number that I can add 55 to 47 to get 78, or to get 180. So all of these together should make 180. All of these should make 180. Every three angles should make 180 here. So now I know that U is 78, V is 55, W is 47, X is 55, and Y is 78. All right, so that is all you need to know to get a 6 on the